Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to the channel. So we're out here in the garage today and we've got an engine here on the stand we're going to start tearing down. You guys know the car that this engine came out of. It came out of the purple SN95 car that I was working on a little bit last year and did a video on. So the new owner, Robert, has got in touch with me and he's doing some upgrades to the car, and while he's doing upgrades to the car, I wanted to pull this out and check over it. We think it might have lifted ahead on its last pass at NMRA in Bowling Green last year. So we're gonna start digging into it, tear it down, see if we can find anything wrong with it, and then the plan is to refresh it, possibly with some better parts according to availability and everything. We don't want to have this thing down for a long time. He wants to get out and race, so yeah, we'll start tearing it down and inspect some stuff and go from there. So we just pulled the passenger side head off and everything's looking okay. These crank gears right here are giving me a problem. I'm going to have to get a 3-finger puller to pull these off the crank snout. Other than that, everything's coming along pretty nicely. So far, nothing looks too bad. This motor's been together for a while, so there's some corrosion and stuff on in the water jackets and on the head gasket, but it doesn't look like it blew a head gasket. On this side at least, it's just been together for a long time. Whoever built it put copper spray on it, seemed to seal it up pretty good. Head surface looks pretty good. Nothing too crazy, so far so good. To get this off, we'll pull this gasket off real quick. Just normal corrosion in the coolant. Nothing too bad though. What kind of gasket? Can't really tell what gasket it was. I think it might have been a Cometic gasket. Put this guy down. Yeah, the deck surface don't look bad. Cylinder walls look good. Car's running on E85, so the pistons are pretty clean. Overall, don't look too bad. So I'd say this side is a go right now for a health check. So I'm gonna get the other side pulled off and see how it looks. Driver's side head's off and everything's looking pretty good right here too, so I'm thinking this thing didn't lift ahead. It may have pushed coolant out of the radiator just from being maybe too hot or something, because I'm not seeing anything. The deck surface looks nice and clean on here. Nothing looks real bad. The car's been sitting for a while, so it's got some surface rust on the intake. This thing's sat in a pallet for a couple of months, I think. And then over here, head gasket looks okay. It doesn't look blown. Just do a quick inspection on it. Nothing looks crazy. Obviously just a bunch of like corrosion and stuff from the coolant system. These iron blocks get a little bit of corrosion in them. So pull this off real quick. And these are Cometic head gaskets. They're 40 thousandths thickness. I just read the other one a while ago. We'll probably get some billet head dials to go with it, and it looks like it's got 8740 head studs in it, so we'll upgrade those to ARP 2000s and put another set of Cometic gaskets on it. But this thing doesn't really look too bad. Looks alright to me. Some would say you could reuse it. I'm not going to, but spray it down with some copper spray and send it.
No.
You could definitely do it in a pinch, but not recommended. Yeah, deck surface looks okay. Still nice and smooth. Pistons don't look too bad. This cylinder looks a little worn. Probably one of the leaner cylinders. But overall, not looking too bad. This is a good sign, good sign. This thing's probably just gonna end up being a refresh, which is gonna be good. So yeah, again, flip it over, take the oil pan off, and see how it looks in the bottom end. Oil pan's off, and this thing's got a nice oil pan on it. It's got one of those Moroso deals with the trap doors in there to keep the oil from sloshing away from the pickup on launch and like real tight corners and stuff. So that's nice. Pistons are out. Everything's looking pretty good so far. Everything looks nice and clean. Cylinder walls are looking pretty good. Crank looks to be in really good shape. There's only one rod bearing that had a little bit of trash go through it. Number 4 right here. You can see where it's gotten down into the gold on it, on both sides of the bearing. If we can get this thing to focus. Little mirror finish right there is making it hard for it to see. Okay, you can see where it's gotten into it, but the rest of these look pretty good. I just put a new set in here. These are standard size. Check the clearances. Pistons look good. They're in good shape. There's hardly any wear on the skirts. That's a good sign. This thing's looking to be pretty good. I think we're just gonna have to freshen it up and we'll be good. So we're gonna pull the main caps off and get the crank pulled out and check it. See how it looks. See if it's gonna need a polish. It doesn't look like it's gonna need one, honestly. I don't think. The only part that's a little questionable is where that trash went through. You can't even catch your nail on it, but there is a little bit of a mark there on the journal. Other than that, though, it's looking good. I'll pull these caps off and see how the mains look. So I got the crank pulled out, and everything still looks pretty good. So the main bearings here, you know, they always look a little worse off than the rod bearings do in these. But overall, they don't look too bad. Everything looks pretty good in here. You can see down there, those cylinder walls look good. Look real good. We're gonna have to go to the machine shop and get them to knock the glaze off of them, do a small hone job so we can re-ring it. Probably put some torque plates on it and have them hone it. I'll check the piston to wall clearance. Make sure that it's still within spec and make sure that when we hit it with the hone, they'll still be within tolerance. Just so we, like I said, so we can put new rings on there. The thrust bearing looks beautiful in this thing. So you guys know, running an automatic, this car has a power glide in it. And the thrust face on this thrust bearing looks great, so that's a good sign. I'll probably take the crank and get it micro polished, and I mean, it looks good. It looks really good. It is not in bad shape at all. So very good. It's all standard size bearings. It's got King HP series standard mains in it. and standard rod bearings in it. So just probably get a new set of those to put in so they're fresh. Re-verify those oil clearances in those. I might have to throw a straight edge on these heads and make sure that they're still flat, but they should be since we didn't have any head gasket issues. Same with the deck. Usually these iron blocks don't lose their true on the deck surface, especially with this one being taken care of and never really been overheated really bad. So yeah, everything looks good. That's gonna be it for this one, guys. Stay tuned. We're gonna get this thing to the machine shop. Hopefully, won't be in machine shop jail too long on that, and figure out what all upgrades we want to do. Definitely want to do some quick upgrades to this thing. We don't want to be waiting around for months on like any kind of parts that might take a while. So we got to kind of game plan that and figure it out. But yeah, that's where it's at. We get all this stuff cleaned up and get the freshen up stuff in it, and we'll be good to go. So that's gonna be it for this one, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. I'll see you in the next one.